Welcome back to another video. So I have been marking some of your grammar assessment papers, and there are some mistakes that keep coming up again and again. There are some mistakes that some of my learners keep making again and again. So in this video, we're going to look at those mistakes, and I'm going to tell you how you can correct those mistakes. Of course, as always, I'm going to be very professional and patient in correcting your mistakes. But because these are mistakes my learners have made, I might get a little bit upset sometimes. Please excuse me. But I'll do my best to keep it together and to be nice.
What a nice guy.
So in the assessment test, you are given sentences such as this one, where you have a gap and you have to fill in that gap with a word that will correctly form the sentence or question. Before you fill in the gap with the word, you have to check to see that the grammar is correct, that the sentence is grammatically correct. So what word would you add here in the gap to correctly form the sentence? I'm sure some of you already know what it is. So it's he, and there's a gap, then in Wembley. So what word goes in the gap? Unfortunately, some of my learners put this. He lived in Wembley? Were some of you sleeping when we did this in class? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I should be patient. Yes, some of you may have forgotten, but because it's third person, and you can see that because there's a he there, live should be in the third person, so it should have an S. He lives in Wembley. Other examples are, she lives in Kilburn. For plural, just as in the first person, there is no S, so they live in Ealing. I live in Harrow. Don't forget to add an S to the verbs when forming sentences in the third person singular. What word would you add in the gap over here? She live near here. So you already have the verb live there. And what will you add after she? I'm sure some of you have already figured out the answer, but some of you in my class put this. She is live near here? Come on, really? Oh, sorry, there I go again. I must remember to be calm. No, you can't put is because that is another verb. You can only use one verb, and therefore this must be a negative sentence. So it is she doesn't live near here. We use doesn't because it's in the third person. Other examples are he doesn't live in Kilburn. We don't live in Neasden. You can use this to practice talking about your relatives who live in different parts of London. For example, my brother lives in Kingsbury. My friend lives in Sudbury. What would you add in the gap here? I to the cinema last night. I know quite a few of you will already know the answer, but sadly some of my learners put I go to the cinema last night. I go to the cinema last night. I sometimes go bananas when I see my learners making this mistake again and again. As you can see in this question, you have to use the past simple and therefore the past tense of the verb go. And the past tense of go is, of course, went. So I went to the cinema last night. If you want to talk about something you do regularly, for example, something you do every week or every day, you will use the present simple. So for example, I go shopping on Sundays. I go to the gym in the evenings. Talking about the past, you use went. For example, I went to the library last Tuesday. Continuing with past simple, what would you put in the gap over here? I finished my homework. I was tired. Remember, it's the past simple, and you can see I was tired. So what goes in the gap? Unfortunately, even with all these clues, some of my learners put, I don't finish my homework. I was tired. I don't want to finish this video right now. I am getting tired. It's okay, I'll finish it. Of course, the correct answer is I didn't finish my homework. I was tired. You know that because we have to use the past simple, and I was tired is also another clue. For the positive, it is I finished my homework in the morning. Another example of the past negative, I didn't attend my class, I was sick. What would you put in the gap over here? Yesterday, I lunch in the restaurant. We are still using past simple, and what you have to think about here is what verb goes with lunch. For some reason, some of my learners put, yesterday I was lunch in the restaurant.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You were lunch? How did you taste? What did they serve you with? Chips or rice? Why do you want to get eaten? It's not so bad. Your grammar will improve. The correct answer is yesterday I had lunch in the restaurant. In the present, it is have. In the past, had. For example, I had roast chicken for dinner. I didn't have breakfast this morning. I'm very hungry. We meeting in classroom 4. Here you have to be careful. This is confusing. You have to use the present continuous for this one. With present continuous, you have to use am, is, are with the ing form of the verb. The two words here that you should focus on are we and meeting. So what should go in between? What should go in the gap? A common error that a lot of people made was to say, we have meeting in classroom 4. This is actually not such a bad mistake. This sentence could have been correct if there was an between have and meeting. However, you must remember we have to use present continuous here. It's we are meeting in classroom 4. Just remember in the present continuous you have to use am, is, are with the ing form. Other similar examples with the present continuous: I am meeting my teacher in the lobby. She is meeting her friends at the park. What will you add in the gap here? Look at those clouds. It's to rain. A few of my learners put, pay attention to the words before and after the gap. You can't use will after it's or before to. The correct answer is look at those clouds. It's going to rain. We use going to for plans and when we see evidence for something. For example, look at the time. We are going to be late. Let me mark your work. Oh no, this is bad. You're going to fail. Just kidding. We use will when we make quick decisions. It's hot in here. I will open the window. Or when we make predictions about something. I think Donald Trump will win the US presidential elections. Oh For the last one, what goes in the gap here? He like apples. For a yes-no question. Some of my learners thought the correct answer was, can he like apples? Can he like apples? I'm sure he can if he tried. We use can to talk about ability, and that is not required here. The correct answer is, does he like apples? You have to use the third person form of the question word, so that is does. Does he like apples? Other examples include, does she like oranges? Do they like strawberries? In the winter, my house is, what word would you add there? You can see that the answer should be an adjective. One of my learners thought that the correct answer is unwarm. This answer would have been correct 400 years ago. This word was last used in the 1600s. So we have to use something a little bit more current now. A standard word that is used a lot these days, especially in the UK. In the winter, my house is cold, of course. That's the correct answer. How are you with comparatives? What do you think is the correct answer here? Sainsbury's is, expensive than Tesco. Sainsbury's is very expensive than Tesco? I am very tired now and very sad. Actually, it's not such a bad mistake. Just remember not to use very in comparatives. The correct answer is Sainsbury's is more expensive than Tesco. When the adjective has 3 or more syllables like expensive, you have to add more before it to form the comparative. Other examples include learning English is more important than watching YouTube videos. Except when you're watching my videos, of course, because then you're doing both. Also, Stonebridge is more beautiful than Knightsbridge and Chelsea. Just some joke to finish this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next one.